I'm Caleb.
I'm Haley.
And I'm having
Coffee with my
ex.
I'm definitely having wine.
Yeah, you are.
Right now.
This is not a cocktails episode.
It's 4:40.
I said, oh my gosh, is it too late to have coffee? And she goes, yeah, I'm having wine.
I've had enough coffee today.
How much have you had?
A cup of concentrate.
A cup?
A cup.
Because you usually let yourself have 3/4 of a cup, right?
I've had a cup. So
right.
I'm tapped out.
That's a lot.
Tapped out.
I let myself have a cup, but I've been having like a half or 3/4.
Usually I only have a half. So that's why today I'm like, whoa, I need to simmer down.
Especially when you have a full cup of concentrate and it doesn't do anything. Cameron is so rude.
Yeah.
It's like when you get to the point when you're drinking coffee and then it just like, instead of it giving you energy, it just makes you go more inward. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like it's like I feel like there's a band around my head that just tightens.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah, that's why I had to cut myself off today. But instead of having water.
So you're having wine before we go shoot right after this.
Right,
We're shooting TFM videos.
Right.
So we have a theme today.
Oh my God, we do.
We have a topic. We have notes.
I'm shook about it. We were actually supposed to record this yesterday, but there was so much construction at Caleb's house.
It was awful.
Or at Caleb's apartment that all you hear is beep, 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 and like.
That was really good Foley.
Thank you.
That was good sound effect.
So I asked everyone on Instagram like a week or so ago. I asked everyone a week or so ago, what do you guys want to hear about? Stop with your mouth noises. Every single time.
Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that. I can hear when you swallow.
When I swallow, God forbid. Maybe we should call this not coffee with my ex.
Clever. Every single time you swallow, I hear it.
Okay, I'll just drink through my finger.
Yeah. Stop. Okay, all right. Circling back. I asked everyone what they wanted to hear us talk about, and not everyone obviously, but a lot of people mentioned tour. I think everyone is really reminiscent of like what it feels like to
go outside,
go anywhere. And you know what? It might be fun to reminisce on the good times.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Some of them weren't always so good.
Wait, did I already say what we're talking about?
No.
I really thought
Tell
I did.
them.
Okay, everyone is wanting to hear us talk about like our tours and like tour life, tour stories, how we plan our tours, what we think tours are gonna look like in the future.
Yeah.
So I thought it'd be like a fun, nice change of pace from this whole shipwreck of a world we live in. It would be nice to just talk about something fun and fresh and funky.
Something light. Like last week, we really tried to talk about something light. So I said, hey, let's just talk about Britney's conservatorships, like something light. And Haley's like, yeah, somehow a woman being in prison for 12 years is lighter than what we've been talking about.
Right. We're doing a full 180.
Baby, crazy. First of all, can we talk about how the pronunciation of the word tour? Tour. I say tour.
Tour? Like the what? Who do you think you are? I'm going on tour.
Tour. I would like to take an audience poll. Right now, pull over on the side of the road and comment. Do you say tour or tour?
Tour.
Going
on tour.
Tour. I'm going on tour. Tour.
It's like people who say like mature instead of mature.
Those people are assholes.
That you're the asshole. Okay, so
it all started in 2015.
Okay, let's go from the beginning. Our first tour that we ever went on, or not tour, our first show. This isn't even like a tour. Mm-hmm. Tours weren't even like thought about. Like, no, never ever did we ever think we were gonna go on like multiple city stops and like.
I mean, that was the dream.
Of course, but like our first like show ever. Ew.
Can you still hear it? I looked away.
Our first stop ever to exist, and my first flight ever.
No. That's not even our first show. You're forgetting Indy. The small blue room.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I think that was our first show ever.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. Because that was there was this one test event that we did because I didn't think that anyone would come, and I was terrified.
In Morrisville?
Yeah.
That was our first.
Yeah, I think so. Because Cameron basically set up this event.
Yeah.
And he like made an Eventbrite, and it was like his sister's friend from high school or something opened a fitness studio.
Yeah.
And so he booked us to do an event there, and I think the max was like 50.
Yeah.
And I remember we did like 2 days. And
Saturday and Sunday.
And we were so scared.
We were so scared, and our Sunday like wasn't selling that well. It wasn't like people showed up at the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
More so than buying tickets in advance. We really thought that we were going to be like doing a show for like 12 people, and it was going to be like super like embarrassing.
Because we had a lot of subscribers at that point.
Yeah.
Probably like around 100-something thousand.
Yeah.
And I remember the first 2 shows, we sold like 26 or so tickets.
Yeah.
And but we were so excited.
We were excited. We were just so nervous.
Yeah, we were terrified. I was more terrified than you, because
you're
pretty
always
chill.
more terrified. You're always more terrified. I'm actually pretty chill before like any
major event. I
any
feel like
major event, the bigger it is, the more chill I am.
You cannot phase her.
Like the smaller it is, the more I freak out.
You said this is Madison Square Garden.
So yeah, I guess that was our first show ever.
And that's what I feel like catapulted us into doing more things. Well, actually, I think the next big thing was when someone reached out to us and asked us to come to Denver.
Yeah, so Denver was where I was going, which I guess I completely forgot.
Maybe that was before.
I don't know. It's very blurry. It's all a blur.
It's all a blur.
But Denver was, in fact, my first flight, our first, like, big show, the first time that we've ever gotten, like anything like that had ever happened to us. Like, we were lit.
We went from doing, like, an event with 26 people to someone flying us out to Denver, and we performed at Lifetime Fitness. Mm-hmm. And I remember they kind of facilitated everything, so they sold all the tickets. Mm-hmm. And we sold like 250 tickets.
Right.
Easy. And I think that was like the max capacity. It sold out.
Yeah.
And we were on cloud nine.
We really thought like this is it.
This was the max.
This
is our peak.
This is our peak. It'll never get better than this.
It was a tiny little stage. Mm-hmm. Like not even enough really for you and Bria to dance on it.
Right.
Like we were packed tight, and there were like stand-up speakers.
Remember when we had a rehearsal?
Remember when we rehearsed? There's a vlog out. It's called Rehearsing for Denver on my vlog channel. And there's like Denver vlogs, but we like actually set time to rehearse the songs.
Yeah, that was different.
It was also a 2-hour show.
Yeah, we used to do 2-hour shows.
But that was like rare.
Dancing the whole time. That wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the last time. Or that wasn't the last time. That was
but
the
it
first
wasn't the last. You're right.
Yeah.
They had us do a 2-hour show, so we practiced everything, and then we got there, we rehearsed again, we did sound check, but still, like, it was speakers on stands. It was nothing fancy. The sound wasn't great. It was really muffled, but we were living like pop stars.
Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking about how, like, I remember us, like, looking at everyone coming in from, like, upstairs, and, like, you couldn't really see us, and you're just kind of, like, just, like, watching.
We loved to peek.
Oh my God, we were so excited. Wow. Good. So fast forward from that, we started like planning our own things, I feel. So I feel like the people kind of want to know how that happens, which I know Cameron's probably the better person to ask, but you're the next best.
Well, resource. I'm trying to think. I feel like right after that we did St. Louis,
which we were also brought into.
And that's what was weird in the beginning, is because we started getting this like star treatment. Really soon.
Like they like picked us up in a limo.
It was a limo
with like drinks in there. They took us out to dinner. It was so much fun.
Also set us up for unrealistic expectations on how this was going to play out, because we were like, the world's going to roll out the red carpet for us.
It's like the worst way to start out.
But that was such a wonderful experience too, because that was like a 2-hour show.
Yeah.
Relay for Life. It was for a good cause, and it was like a gym full of like 200 something people.
Yeah.
And that was the early days before, I mean, we were probably still around like 200, 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah, this was like beginning of 2016.
And that's when like the dance fitness craze was also taking off, and online fitness was taking off, and Facebook was still a thing, and you could still use it.
You could sell on Facebook without paying like thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing, because that's what's changed with Facebook. That's why it's so hard to sell tickets.
Yeah, if you try to sell stuff on Facebook, good luck.
Right. It used to be so easy.
And then we thought it was our fault, because like overnight tickets stopped selling.
Yeah.
But
the algorithm like is completely different.
Yeah. Anyway, Cameron started setting up events and basically calling different venues and like renting out YMCAs, renting out different places, calling sound people. Mm-hmm. We had no idea really what to get. He's just renting random speakers and we're running all of this ourselves. So then it's Cameron basically running check-in, talking to the venue, running the stage, setting up the sound.
It was so funny to like look back at vlogs and you see Cameron literally like checking people in, selling merch, taking pictures with people, trying to get us ready, giving us like our cues like when we're gonna go, like making sure you have your mic pack on.
It doesn't make any sense. I swear to God, he was in more places than one at once, all of the time. He was ubiquitous.
Right.
It's so weird though, because it felt like just a snowball effect. And especially after Me Too happened, then it was just like, and we started, we sold out this smaller venue. Okay, let's try a little bit bigger one. Oh, we sold that out. Okay, let's add a second day.
Yeah.
It just happened really fast, especially within the Midwest. Like it got to the point.
We could do a tour of like Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana for like years.
So it seemed. It was crazy though, because we were able to just keep selling out venue after venue really quickly. And it just started to grow and get really exciting. And then that's kind of when I think we all realized, oh, this could be a business and we could do this for money.
Yeah.
Because before we were all doing it because we just like to do it.
Right. I was selling my plasma for money.
Yes, you were. We would literally shoot a video. We would go on tour and then Haley would come back and donate plasma.
No, I would literally donate plasma before we left. And like I had to drive an hour and a half to Indy. That's what paid for my gas so I can get there and also have money to eat while we were on the road. And also like writing my college papers.
It's like you get on stage with this glamorous, like, I'm a famous YouTuber.
Hannah Montana.
Stick a needle in my arm, take my blood, here's $50, go buy yourself a sandwich. Post on Instagram, living my best life.
I'm gonna pass out.
I think that's what people didn't see. I mean, if you watch our vlogs, you can tell that we weren't living the life of the rich and famous, but...
I don't think that's ever been a thing.
No. Now we're just living the life of the mostly staple.
Yeah.
Just this year.
Just enough, yes.
But yeah, I think that's we got to see, I think, firsthand the misconceptions of social media.
Yes.
And how different your real life can be from what is online.
Right. It was really weird, like being... like going on like doing shows and then having people like freak out, and this is like the early days, and so like it was obviously all very brand new, and it was really hard to wrap my mind around the fact that everyone would like even freak out about me, and I was just got there.
Well, do you remember at the beginning when it was like, oh, should I be in pictures?
Oh yeah, not? And like Bria and I would like hang out like around the line to get pictures with you because people kept on like asking us for pictures, but we didn't want to like bombard, like we didn't want to like
insert yourself into,
right. And like now it's just like, yeah, you're the meet and greet.
Most of the time people are like, we want pictures with just Haley.
But it was weird to like have that happen and then go back and like go to class and like go to like, you know what I mean,
the
like,
double life,
just such a double life, just like scraping by. But people really think that you're some damn body when you're on that stage. I loved it. I love that feeling.
It was so, and I think it's something that no one's really ever gotten to experience because social media's opened up this really new weird window where you can be some damn body without being with a company or on an official tour. But I think that was always my favorite part of anything of TFM, was always the touring and getting to meet people and feel that energy live. Because I was telling someone, I did a podcast this morning.
At Lewis Green _ Big Fit Girl is what you did.
Yeah, I think it's
Big Fit
Lois?
Girl podcast.
Yeah.
Lois, I don't know.
Lois Green. Anyway, so yeah, I was telling her that we love the event so much is because in the room you have all these people who, a lot of people say, hey, we're self-conscious, we don't want to come, or we feel weird because it's just I'm coming by myself and I'm not fit, or maybe I am a bigger girl, or I don't feel like I fit in this space. And then you get there and everyone who's there is so uplifting and positive and just wants to have a good time and be themselves. And so getting to share in that energy with people, and it's just such a freaking positive space.
Such a positive space.
We often cry at shows.
Oh my God. We cry a lot during shows during like ride when we're like grinding on the floor. It's really so, like fucked up.
It's the most weird juxtaposition.
It really is.
Because it's the most sexual, like nasty song. We're grinding on the floor, but it somehow feels like a spiritual experience.
It really does. Because you just see everyone, they're just like living their best.
Their inhibitions are gone.
Yeah, and like that's the kind of the point. Mm-hmm. Ugh, it's so good.
I miss that.
I know. I miss tour so much. It's literally our favorite part about what we do. And what's so funny, it's the least consistent. It probably like monetarily, like it's the least.
Right.
So like
Allison.
Yeah. But it used to be our only thing that we did. It used to be like our livelihood.
That was our bread and butter.
It really
Literally, it was our bread and our butter.
We have many a tour stories. They're like little anecdotes.
Little
anecdotes. I feel like whenever we were on tour, like especially in the beginning, like on tour, like when we would like, I mean, 2017, was it 2017?
That was the year.
That was the year
That
was the year where we were literally gone every single weekend.
Every weekend we were on a plane.
Every single weekend. I think we did 57 shows that year.
52.
And it's so funny because like in the early days, we would go to our place, right? And we would like go. And I feel like during that time, we were all paying, like, no rent, too. So we just had, like...
Oh, Cameron was paying rent. I was living with him.
I'm dead. We would go to said tour location. We would do our show. We would literally go out that night. We would go to whatever
we'd go out
club.
Before Haley. We would go out when we got
we would get in. We would go out that night. Like, we were just like, let's go out. We could be in, like, literally the most random place ever. We could be, like, in Cincinnati. We were like, let's go out.
I'm, like, literally getting sick thinking about it.
Like, but before we went out, every single time, we went to the mall. We went to every single mall in America.
What, though?
I swear to God, we had to shop at every single place we went.
The minute we were like, oh, we got some money? You mean we have more than our basic needs?
Right.
We're living in Indiana?
Right.
Oh my gosh, we enjoyed it. I remember that's when we started like getting Belvedere.
Oh yeah.
We started the Ray-Bans.
That was like rich.
I had my Kia Soul.
Oh my goodness. That was the life. We'd go out. We would have our show the next day. We would be like hungover, not living our best.
We weren't even hungover, I feel like.
We were just like, that's just who we were.
But like we drank excessively.
But we were also young.
We were
so young.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Sometimes
we would always, I mean, literally without fail, we went out.
We went to like a club. Like I'm talking like a little bar.
Club.
I'm talking about a club. And like the nights that we stayed in, we danced our asses off. We'd be sore the next day.
For our show. Or for the plane ride home.
We would find like the best gay bar the city had to offer.
Yes, we would. Trax in Denver. That was a great experience.
That's still like one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Also, the club we went to for my birthday in Dallas, the gay bar you guys took me to when we got a party bus.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That wasn't even on tour. That was we were just there. Oh, we did do shows.
We did do shows.
We stayed with my family though.
We did 3 shows.
We did. Yes, we did.
Yes. So that was kind of the vibe. We would go. We would eat extravagant meals.
Extravagant. We always find like the cutest local places to
always
go.
Always vegan because I was vegan during that time.
Yes, you were. It made experiencing things really particular.
But it was always vibey.
It was always vibey.
I always made sure to find a vibey place. Finding the restaurants on tour is my job. It's always been my job.
She knows how to read Yelp like nobody else.
That's like the one thing I'm always like, I wish I could like travel with people and just like help them find restaurants and get paid for it. That and finding the Starbucks. Those were the only 2 things.
That was your job. That was your passion.
That is my passion.
Being a travel agent.
A concierge. I love that for me.
Yeah, Water Horse was really good in Denver. You took us to.
Oh my gosh, if you're in Denver or ever go to Denver, Water Horse is one of the best, not even just vegan restaurants, just one of the best restaurants. Oh, I cannot believe you remember the name of that. That seemed
because
so
we
long ago.
Spent so much time trying to remember the name, and I remember the door. I was like, it has a seahorse on it. I'll never forget that place.
That's so funny.
But that's what's so funny is because the contrast to now is like before and again, we used to go to the city, we'd go out, and then the next day we'd like visit, like we'd hang out in the city and
just,
experience
hang out, fully experience the city. We would be in that city for like 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, every single time. Yeah. And then now when we go somewhere, we usually fly in the night before, late, wake up, do the show at noon.
Leave that night.
Leave right after the show. We are back home.
The only place that we haven't done that for in a while was DC.
Because we wanted to
experience it. We knew Allison would also want to experience it. I had a great time in DC.
I love that. We shot Sally Walker there.
Right. That was like kind of that's the first time we had done that in a while. So I was really like having a good time.
It was funny. So sometimes we'll try to shoot when we're on tour as well. That time we last minute scraped up a location because that's why we shoot at the same place every time. It's because it's consistent.
Right.
And you never know who's going to kick you out. So we found this
that is the truth.
Wall that it said like love on it, and it was in rainbows. It's pretty iconic, I guess, in DC.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, though. It's called something.
Something Alley.
Love Alley or something. I don't know.
Gay Alley.
Yeah.
So we started to shoot in Gay Alley. And literally the minute we pressed record for Sally Walker, it started to rain.
Oh, yeah.
And it started to, like, by the end of it, it's pouring. So we ran and grabbed all of the equipment and hid right under this like awning of a coffee shop next door.
Out of the coffee shop. We got kicked out of the patio of the coffee shop.
We were literally sitting on the patio of the coffee shop, and a girl came out and said, "You can't sit here.
You can't sit with us."
And then wait, what did we get kicked out of there and the next place?
What next place?
Didn't we go to the coffee place? They were like, "You can't be here," so we went to the building next door, and then that lady came by.
Oh my gosh!
So we got kicked out of the coffee shop. So we like waddled over to the business right next to it that had an awning. And then what? A girl came out?
This girl was like, she walked out and she's like, people work here. And then she went to her car, and this bitch came back, and she slipped and fell on her ass
right in front of us.
And then you said, "Are you okay?"
I said, "Are you okay? Can I help you? Like, do you need help?"
What did she say? She said something like weird.
She was just like, "I'm fine. I'm fine."
No. She said something like, "Of course."
I don't remember. I just know that I was like really nice, and I know that I just killed her with kindness.
Yeah.
It was so funny. It was so funny, stupid bitch.
Anyways, yes. So we get in, we get out, and it's we literally eat dinner at the airport. Like, we don't give ourselves any time to like just like be a human.
I feel like we always try to at least eat a meal.
Yeah.
In every city we're in.
We always have Starbucks for breakfast until dinner.
Allison is so angry about that. She hates
Allison hates going to Starbucks for breakfast. But it's like, we have only so much time. You have to pick an aside. Do you want coffee or food? Starbucks is the only place that really has like reliable coffee and food.
It's just, you can't risk it before a show.
I
need to know what
I need to get
I'm
my
getting.
egg bites and a bagel.
I need to get 300 milligrams of caffeine.
That's all we're going to have until like 10 p.m.
For real, though.
Yeah. We burn like 1,500 calories at the show, and like we're just like walking zombies.
Thank you for coming. Nice to meet you. And also, Allison, I feel like gets so upset because she kind of did miss out on the biggest tour year of our lives. Right. Which I never want to go back to that schedule. Right. But now she's like, and she loves memories because she's a white girl.
The bitches love memories.
She loves making memories.
Yeah.
So we're always like in and out now. And she's like, I really want to take time and explore the city. And I'm like, Allison, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
I want to go home. Because like after traveling so much, and maybe it's also being 27.
Yeah.
And you're what, 27 too, almost? You just turned 26, so you're about to turn 27.
I just turned 23.
You are 26. That is so weird. Now I just want to be home.
Yeah, like my cats need me.
I want to be on my couch. I love watching Netflix.
Yeah.
I don't want to go anywhere.
I think that's the funny thing about, like, I think post-COVID, I think we'll relish it a little bit more. If we ever get the opportunity to, like...
Go outside again,
I think that we'll definitely not take it for granted.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And I think we were also, with tour too, it's like we're struggling because every time we've been on tour up until now, it has been our bread and butter. So it became about efficiency and wasting as little money as possible. It became like, we can't go out waste money on food, spend another night of money on a hotel, because if we do it, like that comes out of all of our paychecks.
Right.
So it just became about survival.
Yeah.
Especially like the year after we got to LA. The first 2 years of us being in LA were awful.
Awful.
It tested friendship. It tested commitment. It tested passion. It tested our mental health.
It tested a lot.
You went through it, especially. Like, you went through a hard...
It's a hard time. That was a hard time. I'm so happy, though, that I did go through it, because... I mean, I think if anyone could go through it, it's probably me, because I really, there was no like stopping that like survival mode until recently, from like the time that I moved out. Like, it's been like since I was 18 until like 24, just like constant struggle of just like trying to get my head above
just
water.
treading water.
Just treading. That's just the God's honest truth. Yeah. But yeah.
It's funny because people didn't see that, like, our actual hardest time, like, especially financially and just friendship-wise, was right after we did our reality show.
Yeah,
and, like, when it seemed as if we had just done our Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Singapore world tour. We just got a reality show, just moved to LA. It looked as if we were on top of the world.
Right.
And that was the worst time.
It was the worst time. Oh, my God.
Gosh.
That's why, like, every time I see someone, and anyone, like, you get on the internet and you're bound to just get jealous of someone else in their life. Like, oh my God, their life looks so perfect. And that taught me...
I want your life.
And that taught me a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
That, like, no, it's not, everything is, like, what it seems.
And being on the other side of it, like we are, a lot of people don't, and I take that for granted sometimes, a lot of people don't have the opportunity to see both sides of it. And so... I think it's kind of, I think we've been good about showing both sides and being really real and not portraying. I feel like
we're pretty vulnerable people, like in comparison to a lot of people on the internet.
Yeah. And I think just experience has made us be more, I think, aware of what we're putting out and what people see. Right. Because we're like, damn, it really looks like we're doing it.
and we're like, bitch, no, you are not.
But again, we were doing it. It's just... building a business and being an online creator, there are so many peaks and valleys.
100%. Especially when you do something like that we do, which is so like, there's so many like loopholes to go through. So many loopholes,
so many variables, and that's why it is a roller coaster. And I think anyone who is successful is on that roller coaster and will always have those moments where they're down in the dumps.
Right.
So I think it was Ellen who said, don't ride the highs and don't ride the lows.
Right.
Just be.
Yeah.
Just try to be happy. Be. And I don't even think because we've had like crazy opportunities or interactions with brands or celebrities, and I feel like we have just kind of been very chill about it all. Like, we get excited, but...
Right. But everything is so, just even from the beginning, everything has been so inconsistent. That's like a joke that we always say, like, oh my gosh, everything is so inconsistent. Like, what? Like, it is just like... just a terrible day one day, and the next day this like crazy thing happens, and I'm just like, I can't even pretend to be shocked anymore.
We're literally like last year like performing at the Streamies.
Yes.
While simultaneously like
going through one of the hardest things that we've ever gone through as a business.
Going through something unimaginable and having like everything like stripped away from us, and we have to start over now.
Yeah.
While we're like on the Streamies like performing. And
right.
It's just... it's so funny to me, and I always try to remind myself when I look at other people, like you said, who you're jealous of, and be like, you don't know the full story or what they're going through, or what they've been through.
What they've been through, especially because it's not like, oh my gosh, you aren't successful. It's like, no, I don't think that you are successful because like you're posting something good. That's not the point. It's just like you don't know what they've gone through to get there. You don't know what they're going through currently. So that's why you just have to look at everyone with like not judgmental eyes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just everything on the internet is such a facade.
And also, I think everyone's version of success is
so
very
different. And I think that's great. Because I would agree that my idea of success is probably different than most people's as well. And same for you. Yeah. Or else you probably wouldn't be here.
No. No. That's not true. I think that for me, it's always just, it has been now especially just about being happy and content.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the chase to constantly have more and more and more is really exhausting. But if you can find a way in this life, because I've also every cool, amazing thing that's happened to us has been cool and amazing, but it hasn't like brought us like peace or happiness or joy like that lasts.
There's always something else that you're gonna want.
Yeah. So being just content and happy with what you're doing, I think is really.
I think that was something that I really like made myself work on. I think it was like towards the end of the first year that we were here. I was like, okay. I feel like we at the time, especially like we were kind of surrounded by most people who like were doing well.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And so, and it felt like I was super consumed with the thought that I wasn't.
Yeah.
And I was super consumed with like everyone has these nice things, everyone has a house, everyone has a nice car, everyone like can pay their bills, like, and I felt like that was something that I worked on a lot, like just being content with like not having all of those things. Yeah. And it was like I had to deconstruct my mind in a certain way because growing up poor, you want things. You're like, yes, give me all the things. Like, and that's like it's like a drug addict. Like you're addicted to having things when you haven't had them for so long. And especially living in a place like LA where everyone like probably spends, you know, what you would spend on a mortgage on their car,
right?
And like lives in a shack. Like it's just
again, it was more affordable for us to buy a Tesla than it was. Like we were in an apartment complex, and it was like it made more sense for us to think about buying like a luxury car than to buying like a starter home.
Right. That's how it is here. So it's something that
like in most apartment garages, you'll see like random nice ass
just
cars.
Nice ass cars.
Like in our apartment complex right now, we have like a copper matte Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
not Rolls Royce.
No, Range Rover. No, yeah.
Can you imagine a Rolls Royce?
Rolls Royce. Anyway, that's a side tangent. I don't even know how I got on that subject. Okay, I want to talk about the night that Cameron helped us get a room in San Francisco. Can you tell it? Because I don't want to tell it.
I feel like a lot of that was a blur. I remember that we flew to San Francisco and we had a hotel booked and we had a show the next morning.
We had you were leaving a place that we just did a show.
And it was like midnight.
So we were doing it. We had a show that day.
Oh, we did.
Like, I don't remember where it was. It was not that far. It was like in like Utah or something.
Yeah, we came from Salt Lake because I think we just did a show at the complex.
Yes. So we came from Salt Lake, just did a show. We flew that night, and then we had a show the next morning.
Yeah.
So we didn't get into San Francisco until like midnight.
It was so late, and we were so tired.
We were exhaustion.
And we got to the hotel, and Cameron, and they told Cameron, they said, sorry, like we don't, you can't stay here. Your room's not available. We're fully booked. And Cameron said, we already booked.
I'm sorry, what?
He said, I'm sorry, what? We've booked. We have it booked. Here's the confirmation.
Yeah, he like booked it like months in advance.
Yeah. And the guy, I think he said they only had a room with a king bed.
One room, and they can give us rollaway beds.
Yeah. And we were like, we are not sleeping on a rollaway bed when we're doing a show tomorrow.
We were being little bitches, but still, it's the principle. We had 2 rooms booked.
And it was with Marriott. And we are Marriott Elite Platinum Diamond Excalibur members.
Which I still don't know what it gets you.
Think free Wi-Fi. So I think I vlogged it. I just remember Cameron. Do you remember what he said or did?
The guy at the desk was like literally lying. He was lying. And he was like, you can book a room next door, and he was like, no, like I booked a room here.
Yeah, he said we can go to a different hotel and book at a different hotel. Yeah. And Cameron said, well, you're going to comp us, or you're going to book it. And he says, no, you'll have to pay for it.
Yeah. And then he was like, I'm the guy, the concierge, or I don't even know what they're called, like front desk people. And he was like, I'm trying my best. And Karen was like, no, if you were trying your best, I would be sleeping in a room right now. That's the first time I've ever seen Cameron like get angry like that. Like he was like not about to let up.
I literally like put myself into a cocoon in the corner because I was so uncomfortable. I would have been like, okay, that's okay, sir. Can I pay you for your inconvenience?
Exactly. No, same. No, literally same.
Cameron yelled. He was yelling.
I think that's why it's so traumatic for me because like he was. I just have this visual like picture of us like just like slumped in the lobby, just like over like 6 bags of like random shit. You know what I mean? All these what are they called? Suitcases. We were slumped over like a million suitcases just trying to get some rest because we thought that we were sleeping in the lobby for that night.
Meanwhile, you see like Cameron up at the front desk, like barely, his head barely comes over the front desk, like screaming at the concierge.
Anyway, so, oh my God, that took me out. So anyway, eventually somehow we magically have 2 rooms.
At that hotel.
So
it made me so mad.
So mad.
But we slept.
We slept that entire night. That hotel is right next to a bar, and there were people screaming all night.
Yeah, it wasn't great. That wasn't a good memory.
That wasn't like a fun tour memory.
What was your absolute favorite? Do you have a favorite tour memory? Or like in a moment that stands out to you? Have you enjoyed any of this?
I have. I just can't think of anything right now.
I remember when we were on the Cotton On tour, and that
whole thing was amazing, but also exhausting, and I cried every day.
Now do it again.
Do it again.
We were in Singapore, and do you remember that party we went to on the roof deck?
Oh my God, yes.
I remember being up on like this really tall building in Singapore, and we could see out towards to the city. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do.
And it was I took a picture there, like with the city in the background.
It was the prettiest thing I've ever seen.
It was like breathtaking, and I feel like that was one of the random or few moments where I took it in, and I was like, "This is so cool."
Yeah.
Like we're in Singapore on a rooftop party, about to fly to South Africa.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
Oh my God, speaking of South Africa.
I have a story. Do you remember what happened?
What?
In South Africa?
What happened in South Africa?
Our show stopping.
Oh, at the Nelson Mandela Square.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about the Cradle of Mankind.
You go first.
But that was it.
What's the Cradle of Mankind?
Remember the safari thing that we went on? But like we were... just like in her car. We were just like in a car.
With cheetahs
like next to us, and like jaguars just like roaming, and like white lions just like...
They're like, it's fine.
They're like, yeah, it's fine. We're just like in a little like Toyota.
Toyota Camry. Like,
that's it.
I remember we had a show in South Africa, and we were doing it in Nelson Mandela Square. So it was super iconic. And it was Johannesburg, and there were over like 400 people that signed up. Mm-hmm. Turns out like traffic was really bad in the morning, so only like
half of them showed up.
Not even. It was like 100 people maybe.
Yeah.
And maybe I also am like being dramatic because I was like, everyone didn't show. But I remember we were doing the show in South Africa, and during the middle of it, there were like hotels around kind of that square.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, they kept like turning the music down, and I was like, what is going on? They keep turning it down. And then in the middle of the show, they cut the bass altogether.
Yeah.
So like we had no subs. So it was like really anticlimactic because it's like, oh, can you really take me or not? Can I be a little bit or not? It was just like it was not hitting hard. And I remember then they just stopped the music completely in the middle of Me Too.
Yeah.
Because I guess the hotels were really angry, and they were like coming up to the police carry like assault rifles. And so they were like coming up to us, and they just shut the whole show down, and they were like, we got to get out of here right now. Like, we got to go. And it was...
I'm like listening to you like I wasn't there. I don't remember any of this.
I remember
like Cameron being
scared.
like mad, and he's like, go.
Yeah, he was like, because it wasn't safe.
Yeah.
And like the Cotton On people were freaking out too, because they were...
Yeah.
I mean, we were in obviously just a different country, and I know that it was just a weird experience even being there, because in all the malls and stuff, you had a lot of cops just with assault rifles.
Right, very different than here.
And we were just like warned heavily about the crime, and like very careful about where you go, like don't go places by yourself. Mm-hmm. And just the show getting shut down, it was like a really scary experience.
Yeah.
But we did get to meet Sean. Do you remember meeting Sean Ray there?
Oh, of course.
And that was so sweet, because we had a fan who had been like drawing pictures of us.
Yes. And
for
she still does.
years. I know.
I love her.
And she lived in South Africa, in Cape Town, I think.
Yeah.
Or that's where she's closest to. And so I remember we didn't think we were ever going to be able to meet her. And we had the show and announced it, and her mom flew
That's insane.
to Johannesburg to go to the show. And so we like met her backstage, and she gave us presents. I still have like the cups she gave us, like the coffee mugs.
So cute. Oh my God,
Cutest
that's so
thing.
cute. That was such a wild time.
That was the best 2 weeks of my life.
But also like the hardest.
Also the hardest.
Absolutely.
We did plane, show, another show, plane, radio stop, music video, meet a fan, plane, another show, party, get drunk, get more drunk, sleep, show.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
It was insanity. Those plane rides were crazy. Something I also want to talk about is Cincy.
Oh, yeah, that little thing.
How many people were there?
That show had 2,200 people.
That is so many people to us.
I think to anybody.
That is so many people. Where was it?
It was in Texas. It was in Austin. Because that was the time we went to the Pilates in Austin. Remember? We took the reformer class.
Oh, yeah. I need to unsubscribe from their emails.
Yeah, we got booked to do Cincy, which was a private event. And they had like this conference.
Private events are weird.
They are weird.
It's just different because you don't know who knows you and who doesn't.
Right.
You don't know like who's excited. But we were walking around.
And usually they're like 6 a.m. shows.
Oh my God, they're so early.
Which this one was a 7 a.m. show. We were like, is anyone going to show up? Like, do we want to show up?
Right.
But
we were walking like around that area, like around our hotel, and people were like literally stopping us on the street because everyone was in the area for Cincy, and people were just like freaking out that we were there.
Because like in everyday life, we're just one group of YouTubers in a sea of many people who are way more
no
famous.
one cares about us here in LA.
But when you're in a city and it's a conference and everyone there somehow is like knows about you or something, it's such a weird concentrated experience.
Right.
And
that we're not equipped for because like we don't experience it often.
It's nice though because we just get a taste of it and then we get to go back to being like regular people.
It's overwhelming for me, I think, because it's not like a usual experience.
Yeah.
It was something, I'm not saying that if I experience it all the time and make it any easier, but because I don't really know how to handle it. Also because for me it's a little bit different because I don't know who cares about me and who doesn't. Some people literally just like, Kayla! And some people like do this, Haley! So it's really hard to decipher because I never like want to be rude or assume they know me or they don't know me.
It's a weird space.
It's a weird space to be in. But I've also been like every single video since like 2016.
Yeah.
So you'd think they know me by now, but
I think 2015.
You
Almost.
just never know.
Yeah, it's really weird. But that show and everyone that came to that show had to buy a ticket, which was like $30.
Yeah.
So like 2,200 people came and actually I think there was about 2,000 people. I think 2,200 showed up and like 2,400 bought tickets.
Yeah.
And we literally...
The room was so big that in the sound check, everything was like reverbed. Is that the right word?
Yeah. It was like there was an echo.
There was like a 3-second delay of sound.
So we felt like morons because
wall.
like the monitors were not doing it for us.
Yeah.
And so there was, but once everyone filled the room, it was much better. But we were on like the second level. And so the floor, people said, felt like water. It was like 2,200 in a ballroom of a hotel on like a middle floor.
Yeah.
I swear that was going to cave in.
I
Like,
had no idea
scary.
that was even going on.
I didn't either until I found out after. And I was like, whoa. And then
parts of the ceiling, because we went backstage and parts of the ceiling had fallen down.
We went back and it was like a whole section of ceiling tile was just gone.
Like some people had left because they felt like it was unsafe.
Yeah.
Which is like so scary. But like at the same time, everyone was like lit. They're like, yeah, we brought the roof down.
We literally brought the house down.
And I was like, wait, I had no idea any of this was happening. I would have been like freaked out if I knew.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were doing.
No idea. But like looking back on it, there was a lot of people in that room.
Yeah, that was probably the most insane experience.
Yeah. That was really insane. Also, I want to mention that I love doing shows in Indiana.
Yeah.
I like love / like hate it in the way that I'm uber emotional.
There's extra pressure,
which is like so stupid because like they don't care.
It's just like weird because you're performing for your friends and family who you're also constantly trying to convince that you have a real job.
Right. You're all constantly trying to like you want to share with them like the impact that you're making, because we're fully aware of like, I think that we're doing good for people, you know what I mean? And every single show, that's why we get so emotional, because we see people opening up, and it just makes us even more emotional when the people that we love see the people opening up. Thing. That's the coolest thing. They're like, wow, like that was such a cool experience. The energy in there was crazy. Like, I can't even believe like this is what you do. Like just things like that. And you're like, thank you for your validation.
It's like you and Margot.
Yeah.
It's so sweet, especially if you're... Has your mom been to a show?
Mm-hmm. She went to the last one that we went to.
For her to like, for your parent to like see that, I think is the coolest like moment, because it's...
You always want to make your parents proud. Even though she said that I was dancing like a stripper.
Oh... that show too, I had my my great grandma come, who was like 97 or something at the time, and she also doesn't know I'm gay. So it was really funny to see me for the first time kind of perform in that thing, and I still don't think she understands what I do. But I think that's the only real way for people to understand what we do, is for them to come to a show. The
live shows I feel like is the kind of the point. I feel like it's the biggest expression of like what we're trying to do, and like the point of it all, and like you can actually physically see the impact and feel the impact. And so like to just like watch the videos is like cool and all, but like I feel like performing has always been something. I mean, we've grown up performing together, and so our dream was always to like do something on stage. Like, I love doing the videos, but there's something like performing in front of people, because it makes me like doing cake in me too. Like it has that kind of power, which has to be a lot of power. So I think it's like that's something that we really appreciate about it all. And we think that, I don't know, it's just like if you ever had the chance to go or have the chance to go, it's like what we prefer people to experience.
Oh yeah, it's a whole different experience for sure.
And I love that we get to like ride it. Like we get to like, we got to the place before all of COVID happened or whatever, like our last tour was like the first one that we really got to like craft from beginning to end, with like little interludes and like skits and like the lighting and props and like acting and like things like that. You know what I mean? Which was super fun, which we wrote on the plane drunk.
Yeah, we did.
Plastered on the plane, which like makes it that much better. Like it's like from beginning to end, it's just something just purely like curated in love, and I love that people can see that. I love that we've gotten to that point where we're making a fitness show, which has never been done before. It's missing. Like that's what's missing. I love people can like come to the show and like know that they're coming to a party. Like type atmosphere. Or they had like a shot before, like things like that. Like literally, we've caught people like drinking in the parking lot before, and I'm like, don't recommend it, but
I could not do that.
I don't recommend it, but I commend you.
I have a note on here, and I don't know the context. It just says, how much coffee is too much?
There's something funny about every single time that we go to a new city, finding a like full working Starbucks seems to be like the hardest task.
I don't know why.
Like either they're like, they don't do mobile order,
or they're like in a
mall, they're in like a college campus, like
we're just like waddling around like a college campus.
But like we have like 10 minutes to find it. Like we're just like, and like sweating, half asleep, half hungover, you know, just
the quest every single time.
Single time. It's raining. We have our suitcases with us.
But we will get it no matter what. You won't catch us dead performing without coffee.
Oh my
Even if I don't want to drink it, because sometimes I get too anxious to drink it, I have to have it.
It's a binky.
It's a binky.
Oh my God, I miss it so much.
There was one time I want to circle back to in Utah with Agnes and Dora.
There's so many Utah stories.
There's lots that happens in Salt Lake, but that was one of the times when Allison was with us, and it was again like we got into the hotel and people like ushered us to our room and gave us we love gift baskets. They gave us gift baskets. And we did a private event, which was fun, and then we also did like a second performance where we opened up the after party, and so it was in a bar. And there was a tiny stage that was just big enough for me. Literally nobody else.
Allison and I danced on the floor.
So you danced on the floor in front of the stage?
In front of everyone.
I swear to God, you were within a foot of the person.
Oh, no, they were hitting us.
You were dancing on top.
Because they were sloshed by then already, somehow.
And they were sloshed, and they also loved us. They loved us. And I remember we were in a dance circle dancing. I think it was Formation was on, and everyone was lit. Also, that's really funny that a room full of white people were just lit to Formation,
right?
But we were all dancing, and I think it's on the vlog, and there is this girl who looked at you while you were dancing, and she goes, "I want your life."
She was like, "But no, seriously, can I have it?" And I was just like, "Ah."
That was one of the most bizarre. Because you're also like, do you see the needle marks in my arm? Like, I just donated plasma. What are you talking about? Just be careful whose life you ask for.
Right. You can have it, girl.
You can take it.
You can take it.
I'll take yours because you probably have a house in suburbia.
Right. Exactly. Okay. I have one more story. I don't know. It said the night in Utah, St. Louis. I don't know where we were. I think it was St. Louis. This is what my note says. Where we found the pink balloon.
Oh, that was
That was St. Louis, right?
That was Cincinnati.
Cincinnati?
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so we were at apparently Cincinnati.
Or Columbus, one of the two.
We're at unnamed city.
Unnamed Midwestern city.
And we walk into this hotel and immediately bad vibes.
Bad vibes.
Immediately old. Not even just there's old hotels that I can vibe with.
And there's murder hotels.
This is a murderous, there is some spiritual happenings here. The walls scream, bad things. It's bad things have happened here.
We have secrets.
We walk into the hotel. We walk into our
room, if that's what you can call it.
It was just hideous.
It had, candy stripe paper that, your great-grandma would have on her wall. In the bathtub, I swear to you, was yellow.
It was yellow. It used to be white. It was yellow. They had those paper cups that look like the little 90s design, the pink with the green.
Yeah, the pink Pop-Tart thing. Or the blue and purple Pop-Tart.
Yeah. I remember the vlog and I'm just look at this cup. And then the telephone was weird. The telephone was unplugged.
The telephone was unplugged.
The telephone didn't work.
You can never get out. It's like a horror movie. You pick up the phone and it's nothing. It's dead.
And then we were just everything around. Everything's wrong. Okay, everything is wrong.
The carpet,
here.
You could see how it smelled.
There were stains. There were stains everywhere. Like blood-looking stains everywhere. And then I don't remember what's going on. I think we were messing with the phone. Right? We were messing with the phone, and we look, and there's a little pink purse. It's a little pink purse. And then I opened up
it was like a coin purse.
It was like a little coin purse. Yeah. I opened up the purse, and there's a little pink balloon, which I found out what that pink balloon represents, and it's heroin.
Are you serious?
Yeah, people put, that's how they give, heroin to a lot of people, is in a balloon.
I didn't know that.
I found that yesterday.
I didn't know that. I remember after the balloon was found, yes. I said, we gotta go. We gotta go.
I remember Cameron in the corner crunching numbers, if we had to get a new hotel, how much it would cost us. And you called, right?
Yeah, we called other hotels and they were booked, and we were freaking out.
Oh, right.
And so, and we also didn't want to. We finally found one that we could go to, but we didn't want to spend the money.
Right.
Because we already spent the money on this one. So I remember I went downstairs.
Yeah.
To the front desk, and I said, "Sir," and he said, "Yeah, what's going on?" And I go, "I'm so sorry, we just got here, and I have a family emergency, and we have to leave right now, and I don't know what to do. Is there a way that we can go?" And he goes, "Oh my God, yeah, I'm so sorry. You can have your money back. You guys can leave immediately." And I said, "Thank you so much."
Because you were supposed to stay there for 2 days.
Yeah. And I ran up and I knocked on the door, and I remember walking in, you guys just looking at me like kids on Christmas morning, or
we were just scared. We're what do they say?
And I said, "We can go. We got it. We
We went to a new hotel, and we were just so happy they had Netflix. We were so.
It was a Courtyard Marriott.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And we were like, oh my gosh, like it's a double sink and we both have beds that are
Never
clean.
taken it for granted since.
A TV with Wi-Fi.
Was that the same hotel that there was, I think her name was Catherine, right? Like all of those girls.
Kathleen.
Yeah. Kathleen, shout out Kathleen. And we got sloshed with them. Remember the night we got completely sloshed with our fans?
Was it that hotel?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's the night we met her?
Yeah.
We got, oh my gosh, we had people who were coming to our show the next day who were staying in that hotel.
Yeah.
And so somehow like we were walking around and they saw us and we all were like on the, of course, partying the night before, but like not partying.
No,
we were
this
just
was
like
the next
drinking.
day after the show.
It was?
Yeah. We were leaving the next
so we
day.
had the show.
Yeah,
and
we had
then
the show already.
We went out and just like got drinks in the courtyard.
Yeah.
And we like spent the whole night just chilling. We did like a Facebook Live. We were doing, I remember we did like Don't Tell 'Em or Bubblegum.
We love getting drunk with our fans.
We love it. If you're a fan who loves to drink, God, this is why my mom and grandma are just like, I had no idea you drank alcohol like that. Like you're drunk. You're a drunk.
You're a drunk.
But no, that was amazing. And then she ended up the next time we came offering her house to us.
Yeah, she did. Oh my God, I had food poisoning.
Yeah.
There's no time.
Another time.
I mean, just real quickly, the whole point, it's not even that good of a story, honestly.
It's just still scary to think about.
I had full ass food poisoning during a show.
Oh.
Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, do you remember what else happened at that show?
You're right. It's a whole different podcast. We need a part 2. We didn't even get to the guy in Denver.
We got to do a part 2. Or St. Louis.
Guys, let us know if you want a part 2 of this.
Yeah, we have more tour stories. Unless this is totally boring and unrelatable.
We're like having a great time for once. Okay, your intention for the week. No, your recommendation for the week.
Oh, I would currently recommend. You know what? I just watched Defending Jacob on Apple TV Plus, and I would not recommend it.
Wow, Ramsey's gonna be upset.
I told Ramsey the ending was awful. I would recommend The Politician. Season 1 was good. It wasn't amazing, but season 2 so far is really, really good. And so if you can watch it, I would recommend it.
I would recommend. I have 2 things actually. I'm sorry. So the first thing that I want to recommend is Zac Efron's new show.
Oh yeah,
it's so good. I love it so much. He talks about it's a very niche type of show. Like he pretty much just like does whatever he wants, but it's pretty much like the whole premise is like, how can you live like the healthiest, cleanest life, and like experiencing like different cultures and things like that. So it's a very interesting show, but it's very like kind of all over the place, but in a way that I love. Second thing I want to recommend is Drunk History, because I've never seen that. I like just like one day I was like, I'm gonna watch this.
Is it on TV?
It's on Hulu.
Oh.
And it's so funny. And I love it, and I'm obsessed. It's just like a nice like light watch, like something like light. And it's the first thing that I've watched in a while that's like light, but also still learning something.
It's so they teach you things.
Yeah, there's like little like anecdotes about like little historical anecdotes, and they'll have like comedians come in and like get sloshed and tell the story. And
so do they know what they're saying, or is it their own recollection of history?
They're like own like they like learn about the story, but like they're so sloshed they're trying to like retell the story, and then they have like actors come in and like do like a recreation of it, and they're like mouthing like how the drunk person is like speaking. It's hilarious.
We should do that.
Yeah.
We should do that.
We should do that. It's so good. So those are my 2 recommendations. Sorry, there's 2. Intention?
My intention for this week is to try to talk to my sister more.
Oh, that's cute.
Because we had a really good conversation a few days ago that we were talking oddly about like the Black Lives Matter movement and other things, and she was telling me about things and explaining things to me, and it was really cool to see. I felt like we had an adult conversation, and I feel like we aren't as close as I wish we were. So it was cool because I feel like I've distanced myself for a while. So I'd like to continue to get closer to her, not to bring this down or anything.
No, I think it's cute.
Okay. What about you?
I don't know, man. Nothing's coming to mind. You know what my intention is to get dressed more.
More? You come over here in your Sunday best on a Tuesday.
Oh my God, it's so hot.
Is that it then?
No, you know what? My intention actually is to get back like on my health and fitness grind because I've been so slacking. I haven't been feeling well for the past few days, but I just feel...
That's because you have periods that are equivalent to like...
Like death? I know, but even before that, like I was just like, just not... It's been so hot outside, so like that always like discourages me from going 80. Outside. It was literally 90
really?
Last week. Yeah, it was. It was like 95 all week last week.
I feel like if it's over 75, you're like, it's too hot.
Well, you were in Florida.
Was.
So it was super hot, and I like work out outside. I don't go to the gym. So
oh yeah, you told me it was really hard to run.
It was really hard to run, but I just like I need to get back into it. It's when I feel the best, like mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. So I just need to get back into it.
Coffee with my ex.